Talk about something that is an amazing story that comes out of something that is not so happy. Mother and Me is a story of larger than life mama waltzing into dementia as her Broadway baby shimmies into middle age. It's a one-woman show. It's here in Connecticut Friday night. This is Melinda Buckley, the playwright, the star, and it's based on a true story because the mother in The Mother and Me is your mother, and you would be the me.
Yes.
Nice to have you, me. It's nice to see you here.
Thank
Talk
you.
to me and take us through what life with a parent going through dementia is like, and how that ended up turning into a little inspiration for you.
Well, I think like most people, when this happens to your parent, it's like a tsunami. You get overwhelmed with all kinds of things.
Sure.
And a lot of caregivers are women, and they're women at a certain point in life when you're like smack in the middle of all kinds of changes. Maybe you've got kids, maybe you're parenting a parent. So it's a roller coaster.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And even before, and we'll talk about the plot in just a second, but talk about your mother.
Okay.
She was, as you said, larger than life.
Larger than life.
You said she had a similarity to a more famous Broadway character.
Yes. I actually call her Mama Rose, my Hungarian Mama Rose. She was larger than life, full of everything. And
you were the Broadway baby.
And I'm the Broadway baby.
So she was there. She was pushing you, making sure that you were going to be a success.
Yes.
But that kind of got derailed, for lack of a better word.
Well, yes. I mean, and also, just like that show, there was some conflict in that pushing, and, she belonged on stage. So in some ways, writing this story, her life was story-worthy to begin with.
Sure.
So writing it was, a tribute, an opportunity to give her some stage time.
Sure, absolutely. The show is about you and dealing with this, and as a caregiver, and we've said this plenty of times on this show, the caregiver's job when you're talking about Alzheimer's, when you're talking about dementia, is absolutely the most important role in that person afflicted with the disease's life, because you are their eyes, their ears, their brains. You're keeping an eye on everything, and that how does that translate on stage?
Well, I take people with me. It's a journey. There's no Alzheimer patient that is like another one. So it's very personal. And I always tell people that, the show is funny. And some of that comedy comes out of, my situation.
Sure.
And also like dealing with the healthcare system, navigating things, dealing with nursing homes and, all that stuff.
Are you hoping that caregivers or people in the process of becoming those caregivers, maybe they're at the initial stages of it, are you hoping they're the ones who are listening to your show, or is it more of just a passion play for you?
Well, no, I'm hoping to create community, because I really think that most caregivers, they want to go it alone. And there's so many resources, the Alzheimer's Association, that's why we're doing it. We're going to have a talk back. Community is so important. In fact, I like to steal this catchphrase from the Alzheimer's Family Support Center in Cape Cod. I've done a lot of work for them. And they say, until there's a cure, there's community.
Sure.
And I think that's a healing power in and of itself. So I want caregivers to know they're not alone.
I think you've said it perfectly. The fact that it's not a one-person operation, and it really does take the proverbial village. So let's talk about what you're doing Friday night. Because you've done this show over the years. You've done it all over Broadway, in terms of taking this and making it a real successful, tribute to your mom.
Yes.
You do one show every time you come into a town, and you do it specifically for caregivers.
Yes, for caregivers. I want people to come into that room and feel like they're in a group of people who gets them, who understands them. I want them to know about the resources that are available to them.
Put the information up on the screen. We want you to see Mother and Me.
Yes.
This is Friday night at the Sherman JCC. The tickets, we'll link you to them at fox61.com. There are tickets available, and there's going to be a little talk back afterwards.
Yes, and then, wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. She's done this before.
We're going to, the Housatonic River Brewing, they've been so generous. They're going to host us for a little after party.
I love it. Very nice.
So, you know, Diane and Dave Littlefield, they have a connection to this as well. So,
well, I mean, and that's the thing, as you said, Melinda, no two stories are the same.
Exactly.
And as long as the community is coming together, whether you're in an early stage of dealing with this or maybe you're a veteran, there are stories, there's lessons, and there's inspiration.
Yes.
And thank you for being inspiring.
Thank you for
That's
this
nice
opportunity.
Melinda Buckley, we'll get you again, fox61.com. We'll have the link to the show Friday night. Let's talk about